Pragito, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you so much, Liz. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here.
So you specialize in a topic that we have not yet touched on this podcast over so many years, and that is meditation. Can you sort of talk about what meditation looks like realistically? Because I think people are becoming very familiar with it, but there still might be a little hangover of a stereotype of a chant and a pose. Can you talk a little bit about what it is?
Meditation is awareness. Meditation is being in the present moment, living with presence. And another word for presence is focus. Why do we want to be focused? Whatever it is we're doing it with total awareness, with total presence. And then, of course, we're giving it 100%. And that is the quality that can really bring incredible creative ideas.
For many people, I think that they, even if they haven't considered a practice of meditation, they certainly feel the importance of staying focused. But when I talk to so many people, they say, flat out, I can't. This is not my strength. I feel overwhelmed. I'm busy. There's so many demands on me, especially with COVID, people working at home and having family. And it's like, I would love to be focused, but I feel that I'm pulled all the time. How would you respond to that from your stance?
What are you doing with your attention? Are you allowing yourself to get distracted, which is the mind coming in? The mind will try and drag us into the future or the past. That's why we get that feeling of overwhelm, because the mind is so busy. For example, you might be sitting at your desk doing one thing, but while you're doing it, the mind is totally busy reminding you of like 50 other things that you've got to be doing. And the knack of meditation is finding the ability to be totally present or totally focused and not let the mind interfere.
So is there still a place for the brain to do its thing and for presence to do its thing? Can they be harmonious?
Oh, absolutely. The knack of it is to disidentify from the mind and become a witness so that you are aware, okay, that's the mind, chuntering on about this, that, and the other, while I'm here finishing my taxes, for example. Yeah? And you learn to distinguish, because you don't want to try and repress the mind or get rid of the mind, because we need our mind. Because our mind is the bridge between our inner and our outer, because it can express our creativity out in the world, especially if you're a writer or a speaker. We need the mind. But what we don't need is the anxiety that the mind creates, the overwhelm that the mind creates, and the back and forth and making us feel like we're completely discombobulated, that the mind can do that as well. So when you learn to step back, if you like, and observe and notice and watch, then you are less at the effect of the negative of the mind, and you can tune into and use the mind for the positive.
What's a red flag that we are being controlled by the mind in the moment?
Oh, what a great question. Well, the words should and ought, because they are judgment words. I'm doing this, but I should be doing that. Or I'm doing this, but I ought to be doing that. That's when we're judging ourselves, and that's the mind, because judgment lives in the mind.
So I hear many times, especially those mid-level leaders, not only have judgment towards themselves, and my goodness, they can be brutal to themselves. And I'll raise my hand because I was in those shoes as well at one point in life. But I also see that carryover of the judgment towards others with the shoulds and the oughts. So what's the relationship, or what would be a comment about when we are judging others with shoulds and oughts, and what should we be thinking about?
Well, I love this question. When you notice that you're judging others, what you're actually doing is judging yourself. Judgments start with oneself. The more you judge yourself, the more you judge others. The more compassion you have for yourself, the more compassion you have for others. the more acceptance you have of yourself, the more acceptance you have for others. So it all starts with yourself. And certainly you can start to notice the judgments of your own mind and how you criticize yourself and put yourself down. And it's a practice to learn to, instead of judging yourself, having compassion for yourself and acceptance, and really, really understand that nobody is perfect.
So let's dive in a little bit on that from how that affects a leader, because one of the things that just is that, you can see there's from history or personal experience. I think that everyone can have a story around this, is that we are just drawn to authentic people. Why? Yes. Like, what's the draw in that? And why is it that we would want to follow an authentic person? So, I mean, like, it's almost without thinking. It's magnetic. What's going on?
Well, what's going on is they're living from their heart. And so you know that they're going to be honest with you. You know that they're going to be fair, that you know that they already like you, and that they are in touch with their wisdom, with their intuition, and that they will give good advice or good suggestions. And they're not in the mind, which is the same thing as the ego. Because the quality of, or one of the qualities of a great leader is that they give you a vibe, or they give you an energy of they already like you even if they don't know you, and they'll approach you like with an open-heartedness, with a generosity of spirit, with a smile or a handshake or whatever it is, with an ease. They're very relaxed because they're relaxed and accepting of themselves. They like themselves. So of course they're going to like you. It starts with oneself. Yeah?
Yes. And that's fascinating. So Pragito, if people do want to learn more about your work or your book, where's the best place for them to find you?
My book is on Amazon.com. And my website is www.discovermeditation.com.
All right, guys, that is all for this week. Until next time, bye-bye.
Hey guys, if you're getting anything out of this show, please head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. I read every single one, and honestly, your feedback is single-handedly what keeps this show going. So go to iTunes and let us know you're listening. Thank you so much for being a part of our community.